A year ago, you may have gotten away with laughing at NFTs as silly little profile pictures of cartoon apes and penguins. But if you're still laughing, it's probably because you're laughing all the way to the bank. NFTs may still be in the early adopter phase, but some companies are pushing towards mainstream adoption by bringing practical services to the masses. In today's special sponsored Crypto Spotlight episode, we introduce you to NFT.com. What a great domain. And with this service, NFT owners and industry enthusiasts will be able to have their own NFT gallery via a personal profile that is in itself an NFT. Sound interesting? We're fascinated by it, so much so that this is a dual release on both the Bad Crypto podcast and the Nifty show. But regardless of where you're watching or listening, we welcome you to the future and ask this question: is NFT.com the next big thing in Nifties? It's episode number 604 of the Bad Crypto podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast, the show for the crypto curious and the crypto serious. We are the NFT nerds. I'm nerd number one, Joel Comm.
And I'm the nifty nimwit.
The numbskull.
Yeah. This is a fun episode because I mean, NFT.com, that's about as close to NFTs as you can get. It's like almost like if you have Nifty.
Yeah. We're really bullish on this. And of course, being sponsored, that means we're getting compensated for this interview today. But I tell you what, this is badass enough that probably would have brought it to you without it being sponsored. It's pretty cool stuff. We also do have another sponsor for the show, and I want to share it with you really quickly. It is the Gather Network, because modern crypto mining sucks, uses a lot of electricity. It's bad for the environment. The Gather Network, which is gather.network, has figured out a way to both reduce the environmental impacts of crypto mining and help web publishers earn extra money from their content. The Gather online services allows web visitors to opt in, and it utilizes users' idle processing power on their device to mine crypto. So if you got leftover processing power, you can mine crypto with it. We're going to be talking with the Gather Network on an upcoming episode of Bad Crypto, so be sure to check it in, listen. We like what these guys are doing. Go ahead and visit them online at gather.network and learn how to monetize your web content and get rewardified, because we all like to get the cryptos.
Rewordified. That sounds like you just changed the word and rewordified it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do what I want.
Yeah, it's good. I like your background there. I'm actually trying to find that exact same one, and then I was going to put it in inverse colors.
Ooh.
So that I could have, I think it would look really cool in inverse.
Ooh, so inverted. Lots of exciting things happening in the NFT space. And if you're still one of those people that is saying, oh, right click save as, I now own your NFT, dude, that's so 6 months ago.
I own your mom.
Yeah. Did you right click save as her?
I right click save that ass.
All right, let's get ready to go down the rabbit hole with Alec from NFT.com. Here we go.
The Nifty Show.
And when you think of NFTs, if I were to ask you, Sir Lord Travis, what would be the best domain that you could possibly think of to own if you're going to run some sort of business around NFTs?
What was that one that was like Herbal Flogger?
Yeah, Herbal. Like yeah. Oh, the one on Tezos.
You can't even pronounce it. Like needs a vowel. Looks like looks like Icelandic or something. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, NFT would be .com would be the best name. NFT.io probably be the second best name. Mm-hmm. But those would be long gone unless you have a pretty penny to pay for the domains, I would bet.
Well, somebody must have, because a group of somebodies have acquired the domain name for NFT.com. And I got to say, they are going to do something super epic with it. Full disclosure, this is a fully sponsored interview. We neither endorse nor make any financial recommendations, but we dig what's going on here and we want to be involved. And so it is with great pleasure that we present Alec Otto, who is the head of marketing at NFT.com, to the show. Hello, good sir.
Hello, sir. How's it going?
It is going fantastic. Really glad that you're here. And quick bio for you, according to your LinkedIn. Let's see how much of this is true. You're an artist, a futurist, and startup obsessed. I don't know about the artist because I haven't seen your art, but I'm going to assume that you are. From living for the early days of a project, a jack of all trades, able to fit almost any role when needed, a founding team member of Hedera Hashgraph, served as a community and customer service expert for one of the fastest e-commerce startups in America, and now building, along with the rest of the team, NFT.com at Immutable Holdings. Dude, it's quite a background. Maybe give us, put a little more meat on the bones there of where you've been in the crypto space and why you're so pumped about NFT.com.
Yeah. I have to go back just a little bit further than that to kind of give the full context. But yeah, my background is as an artist, a producer, and a songwriter. And but living in Los Angeles for quite some time and realizing that it's pretty brutal to make money in that industry. I since started looking for more opportunities. I had a good friend in the crypto space, and he kind of introduced me to what crypto really is. And ultimately, I was working with him at the time when he became the founding CMO of Hedera Hashgraph. Getting to work in that project was incredible. It showed me a lot about the space and kind of exposed me to various different consensus algorithms, and definitely challenged me to learn a lot very quickly. And then I stayed on that project and kind of helped build a grassroots ambassador program for the project for the couple of years that I worked there. Once I was finished working there, I left and since went to go work at in an e-commerce startup and helped to scale kind of a customer service program there, and really develop a good product feedback loop between community and product. And that's kind of where I realized that one of the things that I really like to do is cultivate and build communities. And at this point, I think it was about last summer when Jordan reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I have NFT.com. I think you should come work with me here and help me build this. This is really an opportunity to build another crypto project, but one that's a bit less corporate and one that's closer to the ground, closer to community, and one that you can build the project with people, the individual people, rather than kind of keeping them at arm's distance." So
let me interrupt you for just a minute there, Al, because I do want to note Jordan Freed, who is running NFT.com there on your team, has been a guest on Bad Crypto before on badco.in/278 on the Hedera Hashgraph episode. So friend of the show, we go way back, almost 3 years since that interview.
that's awesome.
Anyway, I interrupted you. Carry on.
Very good.
No.
Very good. I'm actually seeing here. I'm on a Reddit post about 6 months ago talking about how Jordan Freed had acquired the domain, and then people being curious about Immutable Holdings. So I think Jordan has said that his goal is to make Immutable Holdings the Berkshire Hathaway of crypto. Tell us, who's the company behind NFT.com?
Yeah, so the parent company of NFT.com is called Immutable Holdings. It's a blockchain holdings company and kind of a Web3 venture studio of sorts. We are so lucky to be able to acquire various really cool projects. If you scroll down a little bit on the page, you'll see some of them. We've got CBDC.com, we've got 1-800-Bitcoin, HBAR.com, NFT.com, and a holdings company as well related to Immutable. And ultimately, it's just a great opportunity and an incubator where we get to build cool projects for Web3. And that's kind of what we're really obsessed with doing right now is trying to add value and grow the space overall. One of the things that Jordan says, and I definitely kind of agree with this is all ships rise with the tide, and especially in the crypto space, the more that we can help to educate people who aren't in the space at all, bring them into the fold, show them why this is cool and why they should be involved, the more all of us benefit. It brings more money into the entire ecosystem, and overall increases demand too for new products.
So go ahead and give us the big vision for NFT.com. By the way, for those of you who are wondering the domain you should visit if you want to see it, well, duh, it's NFT.com. Hello.
Pretty easy.
Shouldn't be wondering at this point. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to, again, after working in Hedera, we got to do some really interesting things around governance. And when we were thinking about what we were going to do with something like a domain as iconic as NFT.com, we realized very quickly this was way too big for it to just be us making all the decisions. And that's really not kind of what Web3 and blockchain's about. It's about kind of putting the future and the guidance and the shaping of a platform into the hands of the community. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build the ultimate community-driven, creator-centric hub for all things NFTs. And with that, we are kind of the first big feature set that we're providing is a digital home for your digital goods. So NFT.com/Nifty or /Alec. Those can all be NFT tokens that you own and that are tradable and ownable and customizable, where you can show off your digital items in a way that has a bit of a personal touch. It's kind of a pain point that we're seeing in a lot of the existing platforms for NFTs, that there just isn't there's not a lot of form. There's a lot of function, but whenever you connect your wallet, it's just a jumbled mess of NFTs. And if you're going to spend, $10, $50, $100,000 on a piece of art, you're going to want to display it with a little bit more regard than it currently is. So that's kind of the bigger vision, but ultimately we will be moving towards having a fully functioning marketplace with analytics baked in, because that's the other thing that we're finding when it comes to community feedback is that these analytics platforms that exist for NFTs are fantastic, but they're not baked into the marketplace itself. So the data is either not moving at the same speed that it needs to be on the platform you're buying and selling on. Or it's just too scattered for everyday people to find it.
So I'm looking at this and I see NFT.com/you, NFT.com/art, NFT.com/love. Like, are these going to be like subreddits on Reddit? Like, what exactly is each one of these profiles going to be?
Great question. So each one of these is it's a profile gallery that you own. It's a place where you can display the NFTs and digital items that you own and you buy and you collect. And you have the ability to resize them, adjust them, move them around, organize them to fit your needs. When we look at the NFT space and the greater Web3 and metaverse space, there are so many little microcosms that are kind of sprouting up, right? You've got your parcel real estate people who are selling real estate in the metaverse. You've got avatar designers. You've got clothing designers for these avatars. You have people playing, Web3 blockchain games and then wanting to sell the in-game swords and tokens and things like that. And all of these people have different needs. And I'm sure that they want to, and we're sure, because we're literally hearing this feedback, that these people want to be able to showcase their items in a way that best fits the item that they're selling. And that's pretty much what profiles aim to kind of fix. But instead of just letting you log in and create a profile, we wanted to make it something that you own. So if you spend time, and invest your effort in building value in one of these, you can then go ahead and turn around and sell it. So, if you have, NFT.com/frogs, and then a new NFT, frog project pops off and suddenly people really, really want that domain or that profile, they can come and claim that.
Can they list their NFTs for sale in your profile and you get paid for that?
So this is really interesting. This has come up about 6 times in the last couple of days, which is pretty wild because it hadn't happened prior. But I guess that's the fun part of taking feedback, right?
Yeah.
and I'm speaking very speculatively here, but this is exactly the type of thing that we're aiming to provide, right? As we roll out these profiles, if it turns out that there is significant demand for the ability to, basically have your profile kind of like a storefront that other people can then sell through, then that's something that our team needs to go to the drawing board and actually start building and assembling and putting together. So
That
absolutely.
makes sense. I mean, it's kind of in a way, domains are virtual real estate. They're not
Mhm.
visual in the sense that Sandbox or Decentraland is, but owning a domain, is a certain claim, and people are going to want to come and live on that land. And
Yeah.
so if somebody, does. But what do you do though with brands? Like, what if somebody goes in and registers Coca-Cola? Can they do that?
So we really want to take a hands-off approach, and it's kind of similar to ENS. We don't want to have to get involved and then go fight a bunch of legal battles of like, okay, this brand wants this, and it's trying to just go ahead beforehand and then just blanket cover every single brand that exists would be, it's kind of an impossible problem. So what we say is yes, we have the necessary controls to take action and affect or remove and adjust profiles use on our platform, but we don't want to get involved. So if you go out there and you mint nft.com/Coca-Cola and you're not infringing on their copyright, then we have no problem. The problem comes if you're out there like impersonating Coca-Cola, or if they, begin to come after you. So we recommend our users, have a bit of, think a little bit about that first to make sure that they're not going to get themselves in any hot water there. Because if we are forced to take action based on copyright infringement, then that's what we'll have to do. But we really, really don't want to. Outside of that, the only other thing that we're policing really on our platform is hate speech. But outside of that, we really kind of don't want to. We don't want to put too much restriction on this type of stuff, because art is a massive spectrum, and what is artistic to one person could be offensive to another. So we really kind of want to be as hands off as possible there.
Yeah, this is wild. I'm looking at this, and it looks like NFT.com was originally registered in 1995.
Crazy.
Web3.com was originally registered in 1995. So
I
it's
didn't
like
know
that's a long game play for those guys who bought that thing, because NFT.com wouldn't be worth anything back in those days. But then
No.
to register the domain name early on, it was like $70 a year or something. And then it got cheaper over time. So you figure it's like for 25 years they've held on if they haven't sold it already. Any idea, ballpark, of how much it costs to buy NFT.com? Because I know people are interested, and I've looked online. I've not found the answer.
So this is funny. Jordan bought this domain, I want to say in like around January of 2021. And about 3 months later, the guy came back and was like, "Hey, I will pay you 3 times the amount you bought this from before." And we obviously, Jordan said no. He says, we want to build something. We have seen some hilariously high offers for this domain. I don't actually know if I'm at liberty to disclose what those offers are, but I can say that they are life-altering amounts of money. But at the end of the day, we're not that interested in that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We like building things, and for better or for worse, maybe it would be better to just sell it, but we're nerds who like to build stuff, and that's what we're doing.
Well,
Let me
sure.
follow up on that,
Yeah,
because there was another one that I saw that I thought that maybe Mark Cuban was connected to. I know they have the Instagram.com/NFT, if I'm not mistaken, which has
I
that
think that got
NFT
pulled
logo.
though.
What's that?
I think that got pulled though. That got banned off the platform, I think.
Oh, okay. No, I noticed it's not there, and
Yeah.
I noticed the NFT is no longer available on Twitter as well. So they were
Yeah.
doing some nefarious stuff and got banned, or what?
I don't want to speak ill of them, but I believe there was some like promotion of projects that ended up being a little bit more on the scammy side. So the ban hammer came down on those accounts. We actually I think spoke with someone recently, and they let us know that I don't think those accounts are coming back anytime soon either. So yeah, is what it
Wow.
is though. You got to be careful what you promote in this space.
You got to be careful who you partner with, who you work with, the projects you do. I make sure they have utility. They got to add value.
Yeah.
They can't be rug pulls,
The
and
team has to be doxxed. That's big.
got
That's
to
a
be
big thing
dog.
for us.
Well, I
That's
mean,
why
clearly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are going for mass adoption here, right? That's why
Mhm.
you buy a name like NFTcom to launch something like this. And I can see that the vision is, hey, this becomes a one-stop, social stop for all things NFTs. It's like, the early day of Blogger, right? Or any of these
Yeah.
build your own website, build your own NFT site. So in order to get a domain to own your own space, there are these keys, and we can see right here on the website at NFT.com, you've got a Genesis key auction and then the distribution of them. So how is this going to work, and what do you get with a key?
Yeah. So I think the first thing I want to do is provide a little bit of clarification. So these are profile NFTs. That it's not the domain itself, but
Right.
what we're doing is we're kind of fractionalizing the what NFT.com is, and allowing people to mint a home here that then they can trade and own and move around and such. So the way that we're rolling out these profiles, because ultimately we want everyone in the NFT space to have one, is kind of taking a Google or like a Gmail or Clubhouse approach, where we slowly open these up to the community. One of the things that's really high on our mind is the fact that your first 10,000 people, your first 1,000, first 100 people on a platform brings so much value, especially compared to the people who, your 10,000 and first user. So the Genesis keys are really marking the pioneers of this new kind of Web3 home base. If you have a Genesis key, you'll be able to mint 2 NFT.com profiles, and you'll be one of the first people in the world to do it. And you'll have the best selection of any profile you want. So this is your opportunity to really land some pretty amazing NFT.com profiles. With that said, these are also really cool works of art. We worked with an amazing studio out of Poland to create these fully animated keys. They all come with their own sets of rarity and traits and colors and styles and backgrounds. And we're currently ideating on some pretty cool trait based things that we can do in the future. But these things will go on sale starting on Tuesday, on April 26th at 7 p.m. EDT. The first 3,000 Genesis keys will be up for grabs in a blind auction. The mechanics of this are a little bit interesting. Basically, you'll submit a bid over a 48-hour time period, and the top 3,000 bids will be considered winners. But each winner will only pay the 3,000 first bid price. So whatever the first losing bid is, that's the price every single winner in the blind auction is going to pay for their Genesis key. Then next week on May 2nd, the public sale for the remaining keys will take place, and that will be set by the median price of the top 3,000 bids. We do reserve the right to reduce that number, should it be some crazy astronomical amount. But overall, that'll kick off, and we're pretty excited to get these in the hands of their new owners.
So that's interesting. So there's 3,000 of them, and each one of those Genesis keys can then register 2 domains or profiles. So that's 6,000 of those. What other utilities will these Genesis cards have? Because people are going to claim them, then they're going to claim their domain names, and then they're going to try to sell them on the secondary market. And then how do you know if that secondary market one has already had the domains claimed on it or not?
Brilliant, brilliant question. So I'd like to make one clarification on that. There are 10,000 Genesis keys total.
Okay.
They just are sold in kind of 2 parts. The first is the 3,000, and then the 6,750, and then there's 250 that are reserved for artists, partners, team. And to be very clear, no one on the team has access to higher or lower rarity. That is completely distributed at random. And we're making that was something that we took very seriously. When it comes to knowing if they've had their mints claimed, we're going to have a function on the site where you're going to be able to look up the actual serial number on the key. Every single key has on the very bottom of it a little number, a 5-digit number, 1 through 10,000. So you're going to be able to look at that number and then look that up on our website and see if that key has its profiles minted or not. So if you are going to buy it on a secondary market for now, like OpenSea or Looks Rare, definitely check first to see if it has those profile mints. But with that said, this is kind of a Gmail, Google, open, refer a friend type of approach. So in the future, people with Genesis keys, regardless of if they have one with those first 2 mints, we'll have the opportunity to begin inviting friends and more people in with that Genesis key to claim more profiles.
Okay, so they get they mint their Genesis key. Do you guys have any idea what the expectations are for what these are going to go for based
Oh
on,
man.
because you got 35,000 people in the Discord, and I have not checked out what the buzz is, but I'm sure people are speculating about what these are going to be. With that many people, they're probably not going to be cheap, right? This is buying a killer name that you're going to own. I mean,
Yeah.
think of the first 10,000 domain names that were purchased, the .coms, right?
Yeah.
And Travis, that NFT.com, they had no idea. Nobody knew what a non-fungible token was. Every 3-letter .com was taken. That was just it. Like whether or not they had an acronym for it or not.
Yeah.
They were just snagging them. If you got those 2-letter, 3-letter, 4-letter domain names, they're grabbing them because you never know. It could be an acronym for something. Now, these right here aren't necessarily domain names or subdomains. They're right. So it's NFT. I was thinking of like, if it's a subdomain, Disney.nft.com, then it's a different beast than it is with NFT.com/Disney.
Is it really? Is it really different though? I mean, it's the same kind of idea that you own this URL for this particular keyword, then you're the only one that owns it. And, somebody could do Disney 56912 AB if they want to, but that's not exactly going to be search engine friendly. So Alec, I don't know if you can speculate and answer my question, but what are people saying in the Discord about, what these are going to go for?
Yeah. Well, our Discord's been picking up pretty rapidly. Over the last 48 hours, things have activities nearly doubled, and we're kind of on a really insane trajectory when it comes to our website hits and overall traffic. Our whitelist has ripped past 70K, and we're moving very, very quickly. And of that too, I like to be pretty reasonable and real when I convey things like that. So I will say, like, there's definitely people submitting bot entries, but one of the nice things about the way that we've structured our sale and our auction is that this whitelist, if you have a bunch of entries, you don't get any like special access or anything. You still have to place a bid. So if you have 10,000 whitelisted accounts, that doesn't really help you very much. When it comes to price, it's really hard for me to say. I've seen people talking anywhere from 0.5 ETH to upwards of like 5 Ethereum. So we have no idea where things are going to land. But that's kind of the beauty of it. Ultimately, the community is going to decide what they think a Genesis key is worth, and then they'll be released to the public. And that's kind of where things start. And overall, we hope we can deliver some amazing value to key holders over time.
So just to be clear, for the auction, the top 3,000 bidders, regardless, somebody, bids 10, 9, 8, 7, and then every domination, and the 3,000th and first, well, I said that, actually got that out of my lips, comes down to 0.75 ETH. Does that mean that everybody above it pays 0.75 ETH?
Exactly. So like, if, for example, right, like let's say you bid, 3 Ethereum in the blind auction, and then you are one of the top 3,000 bids. Then if the 3,000 first bid is only 1 ETH, then that's the price that you and all of the winners will pay. So that's exactly how it works.
Same price. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting to pay attention to watch it from the standpoint of how you're launching it. One, not everybody's done this. This is really a community type of a deal where it's like, all right, let's go and see because we don't want it to be too high, we don't want it to be too low, we want it to be reasonable, and so that's going to be really interesting. So on the 26th of April is when the magic happens, and then so everybody's going to be bidding. How long until that bid process is over? And then is it their bid? Whenever you're doing the bid, are you actually taking that 0.5 Ethereum and setting it aside, and that bid is actually, or once the bid price is solidified, then people go in and buy?
Brilliant question. So when as people are bidding, there's going to be a 48-hour period where people submit bids. These are ETH signatures, so they don't cost gas to place a bid, and they don't cost gas to edit your bid in time. That was really important for us because we didn't want people to be like getting nickeled and dimed constantly. The other thing is too, we didn't want people locking their ETH away. If they don't win a key and then us having to refund
Yeah.
them.
But you kind of have to do that on Nifty Gateway. If I'm like, oh, I'm placing a bid
Yeah.
on this when they're literally taking my gas fees, and then if I lose, I get my ETH back, but I lost my gas fees, and that sucks.
Yeah, I'm always super sketched about handing over my crypto into, whether it be an
Right.
exchange or
Yeah.
anything really. So the way that we're doing it is that you're going to place an ETH signature balance there, and you need to maintain that balance. Otherwise, your bid will be disqualified. And then after the 48 hours are up, there will be a claim period. We're going to ask you to come back to NFTcom for 24 hours after the blind auction closes to check if you've won a key. If you have, then you will be able to mint your Genesis key at that time, and that's when you'll pay the mint fee or the mint price of whatever the 3,000 first bid is, and then that's when the funds will be removed from your wallet, and you will get your Genesis key. Right after that, then you get to go and mint your NFT.com profiles.
So how does that happen? You'll go in, you'll put in the profile you want, and it'll say it's taken or it's available, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And outside of gas cost, there is no like major cost for minting a profile. With the Genesis key, you get these two profiles basically just given to you. Obviously, everything on the Ethereum network takes gas, but nothing too significant. We're doing our best to mitigate gas fees, and also for the public sale to mitigate any gas wars, because we've definitely seen a lot of Ethereum wasted there. So our dev team's been working really hard on that.
Well, your roadmap has quarter one and quarter two, and quarter two goes up to launch of NFT.com with your profiles.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be some ideas of what you guys see coming next and how the community is already ideating around what they'd like to see this become. We've already shared one idea, right?
Yeah.
Where people could basically list on your profile, and maybe there's a split, right? A revenue share that goes to the owner of that particular profile. What other types of ideas are being bounced around?
Yeah. Well, at this point, I can speak first to the main three functionalities and feature sets that we're going to be delivering, and that is the gallery experience, highly personalized, highly customizable, and then it's the analytics features, and then that will all lead in and tie into a full functioning marketplace. Speculatively, one of the things that and this is just kind of from me personally that I've been kind of thinking about is, in the same way that when you buy premier real estate, sometimes that comes with a car or a piece of art. The ability to kind of tether certain pieces together in a sale is something that I think would be pretty interesting. Being able to kind of create bundles of sorts, and to sell pieces with other accent pieces. That's kind of one that I'm pretty interested in. Definitely, right now we're kind of laying the groundworks for a social experience too, which is something that we're kind of interested in. How that is going to work is still kind of in discussion right now, and we're looking at a lot of what other players in the field are kind of doing. Coinbase NFT just dropped, I think, just a day or so ago. So we're kind of paying attention to how they're planning to do things, because I know they have a little bit of a social element there. But we have a few tricks up our sleeve here, and I don't want to spill all the beans yet. So
That's interesting. I got another question here. What the hell's behind your head? What is that white thing?
it's a little light panel. It's called a nano leaf. Yeah, I've got a couple of those.
I was
Yeah.
trying to figure that out. What in that? Is it half a three? Is it a three
Huh?
with a tail? Like, what is
No.
that thing over there?
No, they're little tiles. You can kind of put them together in any
Okay.
shape you want and stuff.
Oh,
Every
nice.
once in a while, I move it somewhere new and reorganize it.
That's
Yeah.
good. So I have a real question.
Yeah.
So what about? So did you guys have discussions about this, where you have your Genesis card holders, right? And then there's going to be some where like oh, everybody wants music, everyone wants music, movies, everyone wants television. Like there's certain domains that everybody's going to want, right?
Yeah.
Like, did you guys think about doing a bidding process on those? So like the first few Genesis card holders were then able to put bids on the most in demand URLs? Because it would seem to me if those were under that kind of model, then the price could go ridiculous on some of those.
That's actually a really interesting question. I don't know if Jordan has spilled the beans on this, so I'm gonna out this little prototype idea that we were kind of initially throwing around. One of the original ways that we were kind of thinking about having NFT.com release was through kind of these profiles being available in kind of a bidding structure for the profiles themselves. This was pre even the ideation of the Genesis keys. As we kind of move forward, we realized like that probably wasn't the best and at least like most fair way to do things. I mean, yes, it would probably accumulate a large amount of Ethereum, but we kind of want to build something with the community here rather than just sell very expensive profile NFTs to people. So we're taking a different approach on how we roll out these profiles to the public, and ultimately kind of put the power in the hands of the people is really what we're after.
So these are the Genesis. So the first, these founders keys, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Genesis keys. So that means, in my mind, something else is next, right? You're not going to forever limit this service to, these 10,000 people. So how do you then open this up so that others can participate, but they might not have quite the same benefit as those with the Genesis keys?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the Genesis keys definitely mark the founding community, right? Those people will be the first ones to mint the first 20,000 profiles, 10,000 keys, 20,000 profiles minted. A little bit later down the line, we're going to enable these people to begin inviting a few more friends in. Speaking a little bit speculatively here because some things are still in a little bit of flux. But the idea is that these people will begin to invite their peers and friends and people who are also in the NFT space. Hopefully, people who are passionate about what this really is, and then let those people be able to come in and mint some profiles. As we roll things out, we have some mechanics that we're kind of toying with right now about how the community can come together to unlock more profiles. But I can't share too much there yet.
It's fascinating stuff. Just going through and thinking about how those mechanisms are going to work, bringing in new people, making sure that you have just a certain amount at a certain time, and you're leveling those up. My question is this then, is around, because we've seen some really cool ways to display your NFTs, right? Joel and Fonzo, we were chatting the other day about OnCyber.io. Yes. It has a really cool way to go in and view your NFTs. Is that something that these profiles are going to be like a unique way to display and showcase your stuff?
I am so glad you brought up OnCyber. I think they are like the coolest of projects. And to be honest with you, I love what they've done with mobile too, and making this something that you can even use from a mobile phone. Our standpoint is a little bit more a little bit less how do I put it, immersive, and a bit more like, hey, I want to be able to just pull this up and kind of view and see from like a traditional website standpoint. But we think what the OnCyber team is doing is incredible. So OnCyber team, if you're watching, hit us up. We'd love to chat.
It totally seems like a great acquisition target for to you guys. There's my little Ape Kids Club guy. Yeah, I just put this together yesterday, and I there's definitely a future where web-based or on mobile, you'll be able to create your space and have people walk through your gallery. And of course, this is the most rudimentary version of that, but more are coming.
I mean, but what they've done is they've made metaverse experiences something that doesn't take a bunch of like prep time to kind of get into, and that's really what excites me. A lot of existing metaverses, there's a bit of there's quite a few prerequisites to even get into them in the first place, and I like what OnCyber is doing. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, the auction starts April 26th. In the year 2022 at 7:00 Eastern. For those of you that this episode is coming out just before then, so you'll want to register. When is too late to get on the whitelist?
Great question. 12 hours before the blind auction starts. So 7 a.m. on April 26th is when the cutoff for the whitelist happens. Okay. If you don't make it by then, though, don't worry. The public sale is still coming up on May 2nd. So, stay tuned in our Discord. Follow us on Twitter. We're definitely going to be loud around these times. So we'll do our best to make sure that no one misses out. but definitely register for the blind auction now. It's super easy. You just give us your Ethereum address and an email address, and we'll make sure your address is whitelisted. There will also be an opportunity 48 hours before the blind auction starts to connect your wallet to NFT.com and double check that you are on the whitelist. So make sure you do that, even if you are whitelisted now. Double check. If not, then just resubmit and you'll be good to go.
I would say do it quick, folks, because you're hearing this podcast right now and time is a ticking. I also want to note that Alex said I had 3 brilliant questions, a really interesting question, and was really excited about the cyber. So I think I won the battle of the questions. Joel had 1 great question.
It was okay. It was okay. Well, it was a decent question.
Okay.
Alec, thanks a lot for coming on today. You guys, we are not financial advisors, but we are watching this space closely, and we happen to think this is a big deal. Okay. I missed out on Proof Collective. I saw it. I had an opportunity to purchase one of Kevin Rose's, and I was disappointed that they didn't tell us more about what the deliverables were. But I should have, just like I trusted, Travis and I both trusted Gary Vee, and we went in on gift goats, and there's no regrets there. Should have bought the Kevin Rose thing, because those Proof Collectives are going for 80 ETH right now. It's crazy.
It's over 100 now. I think.
My gosh. This is, clearly what you guys are doing. You're all in. This is not like some rinky-dink PFP project that you've decided to scramble together. I mean, this is, you guys you got a company behind this. I'm sure you paid a pretty penny for the domain, and you're serious about this. So we will take you seriously.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for having me on the show. This has been great.
Absolutely.
And I'm on the whitelist. I hope I'm adding my name on there because I want to snag a few of these.
Yeah.
Get on there, Snaggy McSnaggerton.
I'm snagging right now, Joel. You can't stop me.
You can only get 1 in the blind auction, but the public sale is uncapped. So go ham. Have fun.
Nice. Right, thanks a lot, Alec. We'll look forward to watching this develop.
Great. Thank you, guys.
And for those of you out there in Nifty land, thank you for watching and or listening. Make sure you subscribe, ring some bells, tell some friends, write some reviews. Actually, 1 5-star review would be plenty. And we'll catch you on the next episode. Right, Sir Lord Travis, Apostle of Humility?
I would actually prefer you guys have a lot of bot accounts and leave several 5-star reviews. You can do that. Leave 5 5-star reviews, because that's 25, and I like that.
Oh, good number. And what else?
I just want people to stay bad and keep it.
I don't know about you, Trav, but I'm looking at the Discord on this thing for NFT.com, and they are busting out. I think the bidding war is going to be pretty stout. It would not surprise me to see them going for at least an ETH. I can't imagine them not going for at least an ETH.
Wow. So I wonder if the first one goes for an ETH, and what did the second batch, the public sale, go for?
Probably, well, there's going to be twice as many in the public sale, right? But look at all the people that want in.
And but
then
you think about it, then you think about all those people who got in those first 3,000. Those are the ones that have scored the best domain names.
Yeah, but there will be some. I mean, there's a lot of keywords out there, and especially if you're going to niche your NFTs to something special. I know that for me, when I'm going in, I'm not thinking about getting my name, right? I'm thinking about getting keywords that have more general application to them, because I want to be that land owner. That's really what it is. I'm looking at NFT.com kind of like buying land in a metaverse. And I want to be the guy, because at some point they're going to have, why wouldn't they? Like if you own a killer name, like if you own hip hop is your URL, NFT.com/hip hop. Are you telling me hip hop artists aren't going to want to show up when people search for hip hop under your URL? They're
going to type in hip hop NFT, and guess what? NFT.com/hip hop probably going to be one of the top names.
Right. I would think so. And so there's definitely opportunity.
Powerful juice.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and recommend that you join the Discord. Hip hop in there and find out what's going on. And
now I want to have hip hop in there.
I know. See if you want to participate in this this auction. I do think it's going to be a big thing. I could be wrong. I don't know. Don't buy something and then say, "Well, Joel told me to," because I did not. Travis did. Travis told me.
It was Travis. And actually, speaking of hip hop, I'm going to go see Snoop Dogg tonight in Kansas City.
Oh,
Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, and Warren G going to regulate.
nice. We need to get Snoop to come on the show. I mean, we've bought his VIP passes for Sandbox. We bought the music boxes from Gala Music, and we bought the doggies. I'm like, we're customers. Come on in and talk to us.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw him a big fat joint, and then I'll be like, it's gonna say, "Hey, Joel Travis, be on the Nifty Show."
No, yeah, you're gonna write it on the side of the joint.
You know what?
Like,
I'm not.
write it on there.
No, I got a big fat joint though. It's huge. Where is it? I actually gotta show you because it's impressive. It's impressive. Those who are tuned in to the view here can see this right here. Look at this. It is golden.
Oh my gosh.
Cali green gold. Look at this.
Wow.
Boom.
Is that a Benjamin? It's a $100
wrapped in a paper that looks like a $100 bill.
Nice.
This is a 2 gram joint of some of the finest that California has to offer. This thing has been in multiple states as I've traveled with me. It's time for me to finally smoke it somewhere.
Yeah, well, there you go. If you're going to a Snoop show, I think that would
California. Then I went to New Orleans to the Final Four. Then I went to Miami. Then I was back to Puerto Rico. Now back to Kansas City. It's time to smoke it.
Well, there you go. You know what? I don't know what to say. I was going to say something about enforcement. Well, you do that on behalf of both of us. And as for the rest of you, we'll catch you on the next episode, and stay wherever you want to stay. I mean, it's, you do you. You can stay in the country. You can stay in the city. You can stay on the mountaintop. You can stay in the water, on the beach, or you can just.
I told somebody to stay good the other day.
You don't want to do that. You always want to tell them to stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.